Okay, once you have your coil pot built and you have the lip the way you want it and the surface the way you want it, um, you use the shredders. We talked about these, and the rib. And then remember there's the chamois that you can use to smooth out the little piece of leather. They should be hanging over the sink, and you can smooth those out. So now you're ready to begin your surface design. So in your journal, you did your sketches, and you might want to get those out again and take a look at it. You have to decide how much time you have, and if you're starting just now, you know, if you're starting already, you probably have quite a bit of time. So you can do more decoration. But you have to divide up the surface of the pot. So to help you with that, I have some sheets that are divided into 6 sections here or 8 sections. And they're just to help you out. You don't have to feel like you have to get things perfect. But I'm going to take this here and I'm going to mark my little 8 sections at the bottom as I go around. Now, in some of my examples, we've used paint to do this. You're welcome to come up and get the paint, but some people would get confused into thinking that the paint was going to stay on there, and it doesn't stay on there. So for the top ones, I take a ruler or a straight edge, and I'm just going to mark at the top here. Now these little pencil marks you can take out. So that's why I've decided to use the little pencil marks instead of the paint. But like I said, you're welcome to use the paint. So now I have 8 even sections here and 8 even sections here. So I can take and draw little lines up like this if I want to. And you know, again, they don't need to be perfect. You're going to be working on these quite a bit. And I have my 8 sections or 6 sections, depending on what you want to do, divided up evenly. You can also go around and turn and make a line, a horizontal line going around this way, just by holding your pencil very still. So now I can see I have sections for my designs. Now, if you're really sure of what you want to do, you can go to this, or you can go and begin sketching out. I'm going to make some arcs on mine, and so I think I'm going to sketch some of these out so that I get them just a little more even. Now, something that we have learned is that if you go and draw a pencil line, you're going to get kind of an uneven edge there. You're going to get some sharp edges. So I have these rollers for you. Now they have 2 sides. One is convex and one is concave or flat. This one's concave, this one's flat. And the nice thing about them is they'll make a really nice line for you that you don't have those sharp edges from drawing with your pencil. So I'm just going to go through and make these arcs. Start at the top and arc down. They're not great for little details, but they really can help with your design. Coming up with lines that aren't super thin. You know, we talked about not using those lines that are the size of a needle tool because the glaze will fill them in. And you've learned that in some cases the glaze will fill in those lines. Okay, so now I have some pretty nice arcs. So now what I have to do is decide, do I want this horizontal line? I think I do. So I'm going to go through and make this horizontal line going around. And any of this you can take and smooth out if you don't like it. And so now I would have to decide what I want on the base, but I think what I'm going to do is go through and make another line next to it. And I'll give you some more options. So on all my little triangular spots. I'm going to make some of these lines. Now this isn't perfect. It's hard to get that little roller right up next to it, but I'm going to continue doing that. And then I think I'll also put, it's nice to give your design an end. I'm going to go around and make that edge like that. Okay, it's not enough to just do lines, but you want to start to think about what else you're going to do to the surface. So we have these loop tools, and instead of these lines here, I'm going to take, and maybe in this area, I'm going to go through and create a texture. And I have some other pots where I can show you how I've done this and why I've done that to create different levels here. So let's put this one aside, and I will show you with this one. So on this pot, I did use the watercolor to divide it up, and then I used my loop tool to take out some of these areas and the roller to create those lines. And then here, what I've done is I've begun to do different levels. So I drew my design, and you can trace this out of paper if you want to get it nice and even. And then I'm going to take my pencil, because that's a really rough line, and I'm going to take and carve away next to it. And go through and do that again, and then take and carve away next to it. So you can create the appearance of different levels. Now it isn't just drawing your design on your pot, but it's how you execute it with texture and with design. So you can go through and smooth that out, and now that has different levels. And this one I did some texture next to it. This one I started to create different levels here, and then different levels here. So those are all with the loop tools, the roller, and in some cases you can also take the wood tool and press in. Right here I did the church key and the little metal thing, and pressed in like that. Okay, in the next video I'm going to talk about adding clay onto the surface for a design.